Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Johnny from Fantasy News and Brews, here to give you my cash core lineup for the NBA main slate for Wednesday, March 17th. So, before we get into that, let's take a look at last night and see how I did. So, I went with Kevin Porter Jr., Oladipo, Ben Simmons, John Collins, Moses Brown, Thomas Satoransky, Zion Williams, and Mason Jones. So, basically for these Houston guys, when I heard that John Wall, Ben McLemore, Daniel House, all these guys were ruled out, I decided to load up on Houston because they only had 8 healthy bodies, and if they were going to keep it close, I knew it was going to be Kevin Porter Jr. and Oladipo. So I went with both of them. Actually, I know I said in the video back that I was going to avoid Kevin Porter Jr., but they were just so short-handed. I just couldn't get away from it. So that ended up paying off. I ran it back with John Collins. If you follow me on Twitter, you would. I posted as soon as we heard that Clint Capella was ruled out. I added John Collins actually to my cash core. So there was that, and he killed it. So then we had Ben Simmons. I saw, decent matchup. No Embiid, obviously. So he got there. Wasn't pretty, but he got there. And then Moses Brown absolutely went off. If you played SGA, I feel for you. He was in my cash core lineup, and I apologize about that, but the game blew out, which is unfortunate, against Chicago. Game blew out against Chicago, which is crazy. But that was just unfortunate. And then Thomas Satoransky, he's been starting the last couple of games, still very cheap, 3.6K. So if he continues to be under 4K and he continues to start, then I think he's a lock for sure. And then Zion in my cash core, he was solid against Portland, very high scoring game. And then Mason Jones, he was kind of my last piece in. I didn't feel great about it because I knew he was coming off the bench. And it's kind of like, if the game blew out, he would get some extra run. But I should have thought about that when I played both Kevin Porter Jr. and Oladipo, that Mason Jones would merely be a backup unless the game blew out, which would hurt me and my other 2 picks with the Houston guards. But, we learn. So let's get into it for tomorrow. This is my cash core. We've got Russell Westbrook here at the top, Siakam, Kevin Porter Jr., and DeJounte Murray. So we got Russell Westbrook here. Russ against the Kings. I think enough said, right? Kings are just so bad defensively. And, I like both Westbrook and Beal. I just prefer Westbrook because it gets you the peripherals. For the Toronto guys, it looks like Siakam's going to play and Van Fleet is doubtful. So if Siakam plays and Van Fleet doesn't, then I like Siakam a lot here against Detroit in a great spot. Also underpriced in my opinion at 7.3K. However, if he doesn't play, then I'll probably pivot to someone like Sabonis, also in a great spot against the Brooklyn Nets, who I think is also underpriced at 9.4K. So that's a pivot that I'm going to make if Siakam is ruled out and or Van Fleet is ruled in. So there's that. And then we got Kevin Porter Jr. here against Golden State. Again, Houston's going to be running very thin. Oladipo is already ruled out. John Wall's out. We got a lot of guys up in the air, like McLemore, Daniel House, Christian Wood, but if they only have 8 healthy bodies, I really like Kevin Porter Jr. here. And I think you can play, a couple of these other guys for value, like Sterling Brown, KJ Martin, McLemore if he plays, also pretty solid options. So there's some value there to think about. And then we've got DeJounte Murray against Chicago. Now, hopefully this isn't a SGA situation like it was last night, but I fully expect him to play his usual minutes, 30, 35 minutes. He should be the focal point of his offense with DeRozan still out. And like I said, it's against Chicago. They're not great defensively, so I like DeJounte Murray. I like Jakob Poeltl. Derek White is a good, decent option. Not a cash play, just because his minutes aren't really secure, and you can't really trust Popovich's rotations. The rest are just kind of like fringe plays. So yeah, that's it. That's my cash core. So guys, if you enjoyed this video, please give this video a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already, and follow us on Twitter so you know you can keep up on any injury news, because there's always injury news late, and I will tweet about it. I'll tell you who to add in my lineup, in my core, and as well as some good value plays that I think are solid. So guys, thanks for watching this video, and we'll see you next time.